All right, let's close our eyes and just take a few moments to come into the space to ground ourselves, to center ourselves. So just exhale out whatever you've brought with you this morning and bring your awareness to your breath. And start just tuning in with that breath and tune in with your body. Just take a little check today. How does it feel? How do you feel? What little things need working out? What tensions need breathing away? So let your breath find a calm rhythm and let it get a bit slower. Now I'm just going to do a little visualization before we start. I want you to imagine that there's a ball of energy right at the base of your spine. And as you inhale, you're going to lift that ball of energy up your spine to the very top vertebrae that joins your spine to your skull. Hold it there for a moment. And then as you exhale, take that ball of energy all the way back down to the base of your spine. And then do it again. So as you inhale, that little ball of energy, maybe the size of a baseball or so, travels all the way up your spine. Imagine you can see each vertebrae as you bring that ball all the way up. Take it to the very top. Hold the breath, hold the ball, and then exhale and let it travel back down the spine to the base of the spine, to where that Kundalini energy resides. And see if you can just kind of intuitively check in with it and Kundalini energy as well. And again, and this one more time, as you bring that ball up, just see if some of that Kundalini energy will come up as well. All the way to the top of the spine. And then exhale it back down. Okay. So we're going to start moving our bodies now. Let's take an inhale, bring the arms up overhead, open the eyes, let the palms find each other, let the fingertips and the thumbs find each other, reach the fingertips up. Bring your gaze forward, reach up a little bit more, out of the seat bones, out of the sides of the body, and then let the left hand float down, the right hand comes over, and then just take a long stretch with the side body, draw the top shoulder back, reach, take it up on the inhale, and exhale, other side. Lovely. Take it up on the inhale and exhale. Coming forward. And just kind of moving your shoulders here, moving your head, making any movement that feels quite nice. So you might want to sway a lot from side to side. You might not want to do that. You might want to focus on your head and just let the neck go. Just check in with yourself. Again, just see what feels nice. And then release it to be still for a breath. And then walk the hands back. Little back bend the other way. Bring our hands behind our bottom. Open the chest. And then come back to seated. All right. Let's turn. Oh, actually, I need to face this way. We're going to come over and find our downward facing dog. So lifting yourself up into your downward dog. And as usual, it's just going to take a few moments here just to find our first dog of the day. So our hands are planted at shoulder width apart. Little fingers are facing forward. Shoulders are externally rotated, which means the elbows are coming towards each other. Walk the feet. Press one heel into the mat. The other knee is bent a lot. Just take a little bit of time here. Again, keep the breath and the body working together. Hold your still dog a moment. Tilt the tailbone up. Find the length into the spine. And now we're just going to float forward into a plank. So rolling forward at the shoulders, find your way into your plank. And of course, if you need to modify by releasing the knees, go right ahead. Otherwise, holding your plank. And push back. Downward facing dog. We're going to do one more plank like that. So take an inhale, roll back to your plank. And then pushing back, downward facing dog. We're going to step the right foot to the top of the mat. So first of all, just look to where you're going to step that foot. Engage the core. And then see about getting it all the way up. Lift up into a high lunge. And then let that left knee float down and take a little back bend. And then bring the hands on either side at front foot. Lift the left knee again. Come back to your plank. Come back to your dog. And then step the left foot forward. Look to where it's pointing, where you're going to step the foot. Engage the core. Take it up there and find your high lunge. And then let the right knee lower down. And take a little back bend. And then again, hands on either side, lift the right knee and press back to your downward facing dog. We're going to walk slowly to the top of the mat. Hand here for a moment and ragdoll, so take your elbows and let your head go. Release the torso over the legs. Big inhale and exhale here as well. And then release the hands, so the arms are just hanging loose, the head's hanging loose. And engage the core and use that core to roll yourself up. And then bring the arms up the side of the body. Arms behind each other again. Micro back bend. Back to center. Exhale. Hinge at the hips. Soften the knees. Back into your forward fold. Hands to the shins. Find your halfway lift. Crown of the head reaches to the opposite wall. Exhale. Forward fold. Hands to the mat. Step the right foot all the way back and let that right knee land and come up into your high lunge. This time we're going to bend that right elbow behind us. Take hold of it with the left hand and gently open the chest. And release it. Coming down back to your lunge. Lift the right knee. Plank. Start with a knee, chest, chin here. So let's everyone lower our knees, chest and chin to the ground. Inhale into our baby cobra. And then exhale back to our downward facing dog. Lovely breath here, and then step the right foot back to the top of the mat. Left foot follows. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, coming all the way up. Micro back bend. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, take both arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come into your halfway lift. Hands press against the shins. And exhale, forward fold, hands to mat. Step the left foot back in a long lunge. Let your left knee come to the ground and lift up into your arms up. Bend the left elbow back. Take hold of it with the right hand and gently open the chest. Release the hands back to the mat. Lift the left knee back into your plank. And this time, if you want to take your half plank instead of your knee, chest, chin, go ahead. So either knee, chest, chin, or coming down halfway. And from here, either all the way down and into your cobra, or over onto the top of the feet and into your up dog. Modify as is best for you today. Find your downward dog. Lovely, take some breaths here. Okay, we are now going to let the right leg raise up, like we're touching the right heel to the ceiling. Hold it there for breath. And then let's take our scorpion. Open that hip out, let that knee bend behind you for the expanse across the front of the hips. And then close it down again. Bring that, square the hips back to the ground, extend that leg back up. We're going to bring that right knee underneath us. It says hello briefly to the right elbow, then it comes over to the left elbow. The back foot, side of the foot comes on the ground. Extend the foot underneath you and find your lovely forward triangle. Now, from here, we're going to lift the toes up to the ceiling and then just drop our bottom down and find ourselves into our Upavista Konasana, which means wide forward. And just gently. Lovely, 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 lovely. And now we're going to reverse out of it. So let's bring the hands up. We're going to plant them behind us where they were in our downward facing dog. Lift the hips back up. Pull that right leg through. Get it back up into a downward facing dog. And here, it's going to be a little bit tricky. We're going to come into our flip dog. So let that right foot come back, open into your flip dog. And we're not stopping here, guys. We are going to now again sink the hips back down. You could be facing backwards now, sorry about that. Extend the right leg. Bring the left knee in and release yourself forward. This is where you can move into your Maracasana if you would like, where you take the bind, or just reach forward. I'm sorry if you've got your back to the camera. I didn't think that one through. Okay, and let's release that. Extend the legs away and find ourselves back into our downward facing dog. Hold your dog for 3 breaths. Okay, we're going to do it on the other side. Let's lift our left leg up, touching the left heel to the ceiling. And then open it into your scorpion tail, your half scorpion. Again, feel the expanse across the front of the hips. Close it down, square the hips back up, send the heel back to the ceiling. Bring that knee, bend it underneath you again. Let's say hello to the left elbow. And then it comes over to the right elbow. And extend that leg through and under. Let it plant. Both feet have the toes facing forward. And find your fallen triangle. From fallen triangle, we're going to take our wide leg forward fold. Let the hips come down. And then find yourself into your forward fold. And from here, we're going to come back up. And lift up. And we'll find our scorpion from here. So lift the hips. Bring the left leg back through. Send it up into the air, and from here we'll flip dog in. Open into scorpion again, and then bring into your flip dog. And lovely. And then again, plant the bottom, extend the left foot away, right knee comes in, and either just bend through, or if you would like to take the bind, take the bind. Okay, and release that. So bring the hands back onto the mat, lifting yourself back up into your downward facing dog. All right, we're going to take a walk, a hop, or a jump to the top of the mat. So get yourself there however you would like to. Line yourself up there. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Take an inhale, all the way up, little micro back bend. Exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the mat. This again, stepping, walking, or jumping your way back to a plank. And your choice, neck, chest, chin, or halfway. And then again, your choice, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Looking to the top of the mat, stepping, walking, or jumping your way back here. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. We're just going to do one of those again, just a good old straight sun salutation. Take it up on the inhale. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Hands come to mat. Step, walk, or jump yourself back. And take your option as you come down. Inhale, cobra or upward. And exhale, downward facing dog. Again, stepping, walking and jumping back to the top. And exhale. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. All right. Now we're going to move to Surya B. Take an inhale, come into your chair. Breathe in your chair for a moment. Sinking the hips down. Trying to lift the chest and open the chest. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale all the way. Hands to the mat. Get yourself back, stepping, walking or jumping. Back to your plank. And exhale down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot forward. Round the left. Find your warrior one. We're going to hold our warrior one for a good 3 breaths. Just sink it down. Check that that front knee is above the ankle and that that knee is not falling inwards. Keep it tracking the little toe. And then lift the back heel. Find your lunge. Find your plank. Down you go. Cobra or up dog. Back to down dog. And this time it's the left foot that's going to come forward. Round the right. Warrior one. Angling everything to the front of the room. And again, 3 breaths here. Lift that back heel. Come on down. Plank. Release yourself down. Inhale. Exhale, down dog. And then come to the top of the mat again, however you want to get there. Lightly hopping, stepping, walking. Exhale, forward fold. And then inhale, back into your chair. All the way up. And a little back bend here. Okay, just do that one more time. Inhale, up. What's it? Chair. Almost forgot chair. Into your chair. And then exhale all the way down. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to mat. Stepping, walking or jumping back. And exhale down. Inhale. Exhale to your dog. And then step the right foot forward. Round the left. Find your warrior one. Lift that back left heel. Come back into hands back down onto the mat. Plank. Lower down. Inhale. Back you go. Step the left foot forward. Round the right. And warrior one. Lift that back right heel. Hands plant again. And coming down. A little vinyasa here. We all know by heart by now. And let's get ourselves to the top of the mat and back to our chair. So, lightly get yourself there. And exhale to a forward fold. And then inhale into your chair pose. Holding our chair. Okay, bring your weight into your left leg and send your right leg back into your lunge. Bring your hands down. Lift the left hand to take your twist. And then bring that back down too. We're just going to walk ourselves around to the front now for our forward fold. So, feet come in, heels are a little bit out. Maybe come up onto a flat back first, just to see where you are. And then exhale and release yourself down. And just see where you go from here. No hurry. Take it slow, trying to keep the length into the spine. And basically trying to bend yourself in half. Now, I'm just going to have a look, see what. Oh yeah, I see some of you trying to get this tripod. Go for it. That's in your practice, you go right ahead. So otherwise, just hold it here and make those little small adjustments. So if you bend the knees a little bit more, does that help? If you bring your weight into the front of the feet a little bit more, does that help? If you come out and once lengthen the spine and go back in, does that help? Or if you tilt your tailbone up to the ceiling a little bit more, does that help? Find that place. And now let's come up. Come up to a flat back first. Then bring the feet so that they're no longer pigeon-toed, so that they're facing forward. Bend that right, in fact the heels might be a bit in, to be honest. Yeah, they won't be a bit in. Then bend the right knee and come to your skandasana. And from here we're going to go over to the other side. Bring the hands down, just walk them over. And find it on the other side. You might find one side a lot harder than the other side. I see all the backs. Oh God, why have you got you all facing the back of me again? I'm sorry about that. Just turn around for a minute. And then come back up. Exhale back into your forward fold. And then walk the feet together and find a little malasana here. Little yogi squat. Okay. Now I need to do it on the other side, but I'm thinking, how do I not have you facing, getting your back to me? Anyway, we're just going to figure it out. So, lifting back up. Find yourself to the top of the mat again. Taking the arms up and exhaling into your chair pose. From here, we're going to bring the weight into our right leg and take the left foot back into our lunge. And then bring the left hand down and take an open twist. And then release that twist. And again, we're going to walk the hands around. Hopefully you're facing the front. And then pigeon toe the feet, heels out, toes in. Reaching the head forward, and again, exhale. And if you want a little bit more, you can also bring the arms into this one. Interlace the fingers. Bring them overhead. And release them whenever you want to release them. Holding here a couple more breaths. And then lifting back up into a flat back, bringing the heels in and sinking down to your left, to your skandasana. And then bring the hands down, let's just walk our hands over to the other side. Lovely. And come back to the middle, toe heel everything in, back into your malasana. And this is the point where if you want to take your crow, this is where we're going to take it. If you're facing a weird way and you want to turn around, please feel free. If crow's in your practice, I'll just let you get on with it. If it's not, bring your hands to shoulder width apart, middle fingers pointing forward, fingers really spread. Lift up onto your tiptoes and bring the knees into the upper arms. Bend the elbows slightly to get a platform, and then just roll the weight forward into your hands. And this is as far as I want you to go if you've never done this before. Keep the head up and roll back. And then just roll back and forward. And this is your crow today if you've never done crow before. And if crow's in your practice, I'll leave you to find your way into it yourself. Otherwise, we are just rolling forward and back, feeling what it feels like to transfer the weight from our feet into our hands. And at some point, you might want to try lifting one foot off. And maybe both feet will come off at some point, and you'll touch the toes together. Okay, right, let's stand up. So find yourself up. We're going to do a little balance here. So we'll bring the weight into, I'll try and read. Bring the weight into your right leg. Lift your left leg up. Interlace around the shin. Press the knee towards you. Maybe while we're here, so we'll ankle wrong. Now, you can either stay here and kick the knee in and then pull it out to the side, or take hold of either the big toe with your peace fingers or the side of your foot, and then extend the leg out in front. Now, if you extend the leg that's a bit bent, don't worry, it's not a big deal. We're obviously trying to get the leg straight, but we don't want to compromise. What we don't want is you extend the leg and the shoulder comes forward. We're trying to keep the shoulders in line. So if that means you've got a little bend in the leg, it's fine. And now take it out to the side. Lovely. And see, if your gaze is forward, just see about taking the gaze off to the other side. Okay. Bring it back in. We're going to go straight to our warrior three from here. So hold that leg up and then send it back. Arms behind you initially. Oh, I've got a wall to stand on. How convenient. Now, if you want to, you can try bringing the arms out in front, but if your balance is not that, it feels a bit wobbly, keep your arms in an aeroplane. Okay, from here, we're going to come into half moon. Bring your, which one is it? Oh, I've forgotten which one I'm wearing here. Whichever foot is on the ground, bring the same hand down and then lift up. I think it's your right hand, isn't it? And open up. Okay, we've got a couple of breaths here, so if you're wobbling, if you fall out, just come back in. Okay, let's close this down now. Bring that top hand back to the ground. Extend that back leg up even higher. So you've got a standing split going on here. Option, either just hold your standing split, or if you want, you can take some hops here. So literally just lift that back leg up. And then when you've had enough of that, just let the leg come down. Hold a little forward fold, and then coming back up. Let's take the other side. So, whichever side you did before, other side. So again, you can start with just bringing the knee in, and then decide if you're going to keep the knee, or if you're going to go to toe or side of the foot. And again, once you've extended that leg, just see if you can pull that shoulder back into place, so it's in line with the other shoulder. And then pull it out to the side. Maybe the other arm can be a bit of a balance. And just see if you're going to look away from the extended leg. Bring it all back in. Whoops, as you release that leg and find your warrior three. Sending it behind you. Arms out in front if you want the more challenging version. See if you can get the hips square to the ground. And now release the same hand that is standing on the ground as the foot and open into your half moon. Oops, Daisy. Okay, we've got a couple of breaths here, so feel free to come in and out of it if you're wobbling. And now let's just close that down. Come into our standing split. So lift the back leg up as high as it will go, like you're trying to kiss your knee. And then optional, you can take some hops here. Just let the leg lift up, a few little handstand hops. If you're not going to hit furniture or walls or anything like that. And again, when you've done enough hops, Release yourself into a forward fold, and then come all the way up to standing. All right. Let's do one vinyasa just to get our heart rate back up again. Take the arms up on the inhale, exhale all the way down. Inhale to a halfway lift, exhale forward fold, hands to mat. Step, walk, jump back to plank. And then exhale your way down. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to stay in our dog for a moment. Take a few breaths here. And then let the right leg lift up to the ceiling. Bring that knee underneath you. We're going to take our lizard. Plant the right hand outside the right foot. I might just turn around so you can see that. So, right hand is outside the right foot. Lower the left knee. Raise the right arm up to the ceiling. Open the chest. And then release it back down on the other side of the right foot. Because you're going to just wiggle, heel toe, that right foot in halfway and then a little bit more. So it's a bit closer to your left hand. And then let that right knee fall towards the ground so the sole of the right foot comes off the floor. And this is your turbo pigeon. So we're going to keep our weight on our hands here. And then lift that left knee and push back to your downward facing dog. Let your left leg float up. And then bring that underneath you. Say hello to the left elbow as you go through. And then plant the left foot outside the left hand. Drop the right knee. And then you hold your lizard for a moment. Let the left arm lift up, open the chest. And then bring it back down. But again, on the outside of the left foot, so that that left foot can toe heel in to about 2/3 across the mat. And then just let that left knee fall open. But you've got your weight in your left hand, so it's protecting it from going too far. So as far as you feel good, you should feel strong stretch into the side of the left hip here. Okay, now let's tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee, and push that left foot back to our downward facing dog. We're going to come forward. But just before we come onto our stomachs, a couple of little strength things. Take the left foot, plant it on top of the right ankle, come down halfway, and then come back up. Swap sides. Take the right foot, take it on top of the left ankle, halfway, and back up. Release it. Come back to downward dog just to release the arms off for a moment. Now again, come forward. We're going to release all the way down. Super slow, super slow. Count me down. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, right. Bend the knees. Take hold of the ankles at the top of the feet. Bring it all back in line again. Take an inhale and lift up into your bow pose. Okay, take another inhale and lift again. Oh, so you can get a little bit more height. And then release everything down. Extend the legs away, big toes touch, arms by the side of the body. Left ear on the mat. Just let the arms be by the side of the body, palms facing up. But bring your big toes together. And the heels are falling out. Creates an energy circuit when the toes are still touching. And it's more relaxing. Okay, now we're just going to turn the head over. Lift the head and take the right ear to the ground. Okay, bring the chin back to centre, bring the hands under the shoulders and push back into a wide knee to child's pose for a moment, just to kind of counter pose, our bow pose. So let your third eye press against the mat, and if it feels nice, just roll the forehead side to side. Okay, let's lift up. We're going to come to seated. We're going to come there via our downward facing dog. So from down dog, you're either going to step or jump through to a seated position. So you're just going to cross the ankles as you come through. You might do that slowly, or you might do it a little bit quicker. Find yourself into your modified boat. I don't know what it was called for a minute. Holding the thighs. Arms coming out to the side. Releasing the feet away. Holding your boat. We're going to hold our boat for another couple of breaths. And now just lower yourself all the way down to the ground with as much control as you can. And I'm doing on time. Ooh, not great. Okay, so I might just kind of fast forward to shoulder stand from here. So, options are hands under buttocks, palms facing down, and just holding the legs here. Or taking your half shoulder stand, holding the hips with the heels of the hands, or keeping yourself in a diagonal. Or from here, walking the hands, bringing the elbows close together, and trying to lift yourself up into a full shoulder stand. So wherever you are, just hang out there for a little while. So yeah, this is one of those poses that we just can't hurry. We need to give it its time. So let your awareness just come back to your breath. If you're in full shoulder stand, notice that constricted breathing. You know that you're stimulating the thyroid gland, which helps everything from metabolism to hormone balance. Okay. If you want to stay here, stay here. If you would like to move into Halasana, or if you're in jaw stand, feel free. Keeping try to keep the back straight. So maybe keep the hands on the back. And if there's anything else you want to try here, you could bring the knees to the forehead, which is embryo pose. You could raise them back up and take a little diamond shape with the neck, the knees, or you could do your splits. Okay, so when we finish, we're going to bring the legs parallel to the ground. Take the arms behind us to act as our brakes, and then slowly roll down the spine, keeping the head on the ground, and extend the legs away. Lift the hips enough just to bring the hands back under them, arms facing down. Inhale yourself up onto your elbows, looking at your toes, and then arch the back, going into our fish pose. Crown of the head lightly on the ground, weight in the elbows. And then lifting the head back up, again looking at the toes, and releasing yourself down. Bringing the arms up to shoulder height, so they can be cactus arms or they can be out straight. Bring the knees into the chest and then cross the left over the right and send the legs off to the right. Gaze can go to the left, down the left arm. And then inhale everything back to centre. Cross the legs the other way and let them head off towards the right. And then lifting it back up. Hugging the knees into the chest and rocking yourself up. Take a few rocks to get yourself there. So really enjoy that nice massage for your spine. Again, that seated meditation, so the eyes are still closed or the gaze is lowered. And again, find that length into the spine. With deep inhale and exhale. So we're going to close our practice by bringing our palms together, rubbing our palms. And then cupping our warm palms over our eyes. Sink into that darkness for a moment. And then open your eyes under the palms and just blink a couple of times. Start to let the light back in. Bring your hands away from your face. Bring them to prayer. And namaste. Heart center. Thank you so much for joining me.